You may remember in January, President Donald Trump signed an executive order banning transgender people from serving in the military. Just a day later, a lawsuit was filed in federal court to protect 6 active duty members and 2 people trying to enlist. Since then, 12 more people have joined the case. That's in the last month alone. Second Lieutenant Nicolas Talbott joins us live now from Ohio. He's a transgender man and one of the main plaintiffs in the case against the Trump administration. Nicolas, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, a judge reviewing this case did grant a preliminary injunction earlier this week, basically stopping the administration from carrying out its ban on transgender people serving in the military. Your reaction to that injunction?
Yeah, we are absolutely thrilled to have received the injunction in this case. It has been an absolute breath of fresh air for so many people like me who were facing losing our careers, losing everything that we worked so hard for, and just having such huge implications on our family and on the military as a whole. So right now we are very, very excited with the results of this week's ruling.
Now, in terms of the rationale from the Trump administration, the president's executive order had said in part, quote, adoption of a gender identity inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with the soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, disciplined lifestyle, even in one's own personal life, end quote. Your thoughts on that EO?
I think that every service member is, just as honorable, capable, determined as anyone else. Trans people are no different than the general population of service members when it comes to that idea. I know certainly I uphold the military values, the Army values every day in my personal life, in my professional life, and everything that I do. And I think that that's true of all of our trans service members as well.
What has your experience been like serving next to your fellow soldiers? Have you ever heard complaints about conduct or your training from superiors or fellow service members?
Nobody I've served with has had any issue with my being transgender in any way, shape, or form. I have received nothing but tremendous amounts of support and respect from my peers and my leaders.
Now, this administration has said, as part of its justification, though, service members should be free of medical conditions that might cause them to miss substantial time from duty. That's kind of one of their main reasons for enforcing this, or attempting to enforce this ban. How do you respond to that argument that being transgender would affect military readiness or your time, your ability to go fight on the battlefield?
The trans service members who are putting on the uniform every single day are already living proof that that's not a valid argument against our ability to serve. We have people who are deployed in combat zones as I am speaking who happen to also be transgender. We know what we need medically. It is no different than any other soldier who needs medical care while on a deployment. And we should be treated, again, just the same as every other soldier who has gone through the training and puts on the uniform and is willing to fight and die for our country.
Now, the Trump administration has also tried to put the brakes on transgender care through TRICARE, also through the Veterans Affairs hospital system. Have you faced any obstacles yourself trying to seek care?
Personally, no, I have not faced any obstacles trying to seek any type of medical care. I think that one of the utmost priorities of the United States should be taking care of all of our veterans and our military members and their medical needs, regardless of what those needs are.
Back in 2019, during the first Trump administration, the Supreme Court ruled against transgender troops. Now, your case possibly could make it all the way to the Supreme Court. Are you optimistic about your chances? What's your biggest concern?
I would say I'm very optimistic at this point. As we've seen in the current court rulings, what really matters at the end of the day is our ability to put on the uniform, do our jobs, and serve our country. And I'm very confident that the evidence will continue to show that that is what we do, that we are just as capable, as qualified, as dedicated, and as combat ready as any other military member.
As this, continues to work its way through the courts, I mean, it sounds like you're going to continue fighting. I mean, what would you want, an American to know? Someone who is watching this, who really, doesn't empathize or doesn't, understand why this is an issue?
I think one of the big things to keep in mind is that at the end of the day, we are human beings just like anyone else. And we are part of a very small population of the United States of America who decided to sign that dotted line and put on that uniform. And it's important to remember that these are real, live human beings, that this impacts many, if not every aspect of our personal lives and our professional lives, and that we are more than just faces on a screen. We are more than just a political ideal or a social ideal. We are actual human beings who put on that uniform and serve our country every single day.
Second Lieutenant Nicolas Talbott, thank you for your service and for taking the time to join us this afternoon.
Thank you so much.